Hey YouTube, how is it going? It is Saturday night, and we're going to try and play a little bit of Phantasy Star Online. So last time we played was Monday, and we did a Halloween event, and it was a lot of fun. Hopefully we can jump on there today. My other hope is that we're going to find some more Ultimate players to play with, because I suspect that there's probably a much better reward for completing that quest on Ultimate. Now, I've never completed it on Ultimate before, actually. When it was well, I shouldn't say when it was released, because I'm pretty confident it's been out for a while. But last year when I was playing it with the DreamPi, I was told by the SciSop that the reason the game kept crashing was because it's such a huge game and it uses so much resources. I guess on 56K it's just not optimum. So most of the people that play it at that time had the broadband adapter. Fortunately, I'm now at that stage myself, so when we completed it, it seemed to be okay. There was a couple of parts where there was a bit of frame dropping and things like that, but overall, it played pretty well. So anyways, we're going to jump online. It's Saturday, it's still early in the evening, so hopefully we'll be able to find a few people. But first, before we start anything, I got to give a huge shout out to a person that I just recently started playing with, and they've helped me out big time. So I think the way this whole donation actually started was during Toy Racer last time. You might have noticed that I was playing, and the Mad Cat steering wheel I was playing with was just atrocious. It was a brutal wheel. I ended up selling it shortly afterwards. So I belong to a number of Dreamcast related forums and things like that, and a person who watches the stream and we connect online generously gave me a donation that I can't thank him enough for. So David, thank you so much for this donation. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to show you guys right now what it is. So Sega did release an official wheel for the Sega Dreamcast, but unfortunately for people here in North America, it was only released in Japan. Now, when the Dreamcast came out, it wasn't really ideal to get a lot of Japanese import peripherals, but fortunately, of course, nowadays we're aware of everything, and very fortunate for us, the Dreamcasts are not region locked for peripherals. So David gave me this the kindness of his heart, and I can't thank him enough for it. So first off, gave me a copy of, let me make sure I pronounce this right, because I know the English version. It's Tokyo Extreme, but Shidoku Battle right here. Tokyo Extreme for us people here in North America. But here's the coolest part. Mailed me from Japan a in-box, officially licensed Sega wheel. Here it is, folks. It is beautiful. Mint shape, came with all of the packaging and everything. I really liked box stuff. I really have no clue where I'm going to put it. I'm really running out of space, but this thing is fantastic. It's got a real nice feel to the wheel. It looks like there's a part on the back, actually. And from doing some research online, this is where you can actually get pedals if you wanted to. But it doesn't come with pedals by stock, which is totally fine, because this is just an amazing wheel. So David, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And again, anybody who's ever given me $1, contributors on Patreon, I thank you so much. This is really great. I never expected anything like this, but I appreciate it so much, because yeah, it blows my mind that people will be so generous and give so much to me for playing Phantasy Star Online primarily. So we'll just put that to the side for now. And I got one more thing to show you before we start up. This isn't really something I'm going to show you that's important, but let's fire up a steam whistle while we're at it. Okay. Put that over here. My little zombie guy bottle opener. Okay. Cheers. Happy Saturday. But keen eyes might have noticed over here what I have. So this is my Dreamcast, and I actually ended up getting this really nice cover. It wasn't terribly expensive. It was, I believe, $20 Canadian plus $10 shipping, so $30. Not exactly cheap, but there's a seller on eBay that's selling them, and I really like it. It's actually a vinyl dust cover, and yeah, it's pretty high quality. It looks pretty sharp. It's got that nice stitched in design and everything, and it's just great because it matches my black Sega Sports Dreamcast. And they sell them in two versions. You can get the red swirl or the blue swirl. Now I chose the blue swirl because blue swirl because I swapped out the LED. Now the LED originally was blue, but now it's white. But I kind of like that color scheme better, rather. So anyways, yeah, really cool little dust cover. The only part I don't like about it, which I'm probably going to fix, is unfortunately at the back, there's no notches for your plug and for your AV out and for your modem. So I'm probably just going to do some little slits up the back once I measure out where they should be, and then just stitch them up so it doesn't tear or anything like that. But yeah, overall it's a really nice little dust cover. Certainly worth the 30 bucks I paid for it, and I'll keep this Dreamcast shell nice and safe because it's, you know, an official sports shell, even though the guts in it have been swapped over a little bit. But you know, pretty nice overall. So let's put this aside, and maybe before we start, I'm going to show you one more thing. So last time I was online, I told everybody that I was modding, or had modded rather, a Sega Game Gear. And I've been playing a lot of Sega Game Gear lately. Now, unfortunately, the mod, I expected it to make the battery life last a lot longer than it did. And the battery still lasts for about 46 hours, but it's quite the drain. So I went online, and I've had this battery pack for a while, and I ended up doing some research to see how to swap it out. And it's actually I can't even consider it a mod, really. The only thing you're really modding is inside here. I haven't opened it up, but inside the battery pack, there is a circuit board which regulates the charging and also how it's giving out the energy. And there's a proprietary plug to plug in the battery. Now this originally came with a nickel cadmium battery that was the standard charging battery back in the day. So I swapped that out and I did some research, and it was 7.2 volts, 1600 milliamps. So I was able to find a RC battery for remote control cars that met those specs, that was rechargeable. And I bought it and I put it in, and so far I've had this thing running for about 3 hours, and the light isn't blinking. But yeah, it's really cool. So the battery pack fits on the back like this, and then this little plug comes out and sits in there. And then yeah, you just fire up your Game Gear, and there you go, you're good to play. Now the only thing I would change about this, which I might do still, is remove this plug and get one that kind of goes flush across the top so it's not sticking out as much, and that'll just prevent it from damaging the plug. But I'm probably going to I think I'll order another battery pack, and I'll mod not this Game Gear first, but I'm going to mod another one. And the circuit board in here is actually fairly tiny. It's only about yay big. Most of this is taken up by battery space, and part of me thinks, just because of the way this is designed, you plug in your AC cable here, charges the battery, and then you put the battery into the AC in on the Game Gear. Now I'm thinking I could probably take this circuit board, mount it inside the Game Gear, remove this plug, hardwire it to here, and then just connect the terminals to the battery pack that was already inside the Game Gear, put some high quality rechargeable batteries in, and I'm suspecting that'll work. Like, I mean, I'll just have a built-in battery charger and just have these rechargeable batteries permanently put in the back. Well, not permanently, rather. You can change them out anytime you want, but I think that might work. So I'm going to order a couple more of these. Now, they're relatively cheap. I've seen them for about $20 to $30 shipped. So I'm going to get a couple more. I've got a couple bucks on PayPal, and I'm going to swap one into a Game Gear that I've already modded just with caps. I haven't replaced the screen or anything. And if it's successful, yeah, I'll put one in here, and I think that would work really well, actually, because like I said, most of the space inside this battery pack is actually taken up by the battery. But if you were to take out the battery, just put rechargeable batteries where they belong, and just put the board mounted inside if there's space, it could be a pretty efficient mod. So if I do it, I will definitely shoot a video and show everybody else how to do it as well. Okay, let's get to the game. So first things first, I'm gonna plug in my Dreamcast controllers and everything, and let's power it up. No problem, sir. We will play together one day for sure. All right, so here we go. Now, other than that, I've actually had quite a bit of success with thrifting lately too, but we won't look at those right away. I think I'll save those closer to the end. So I haven't fired up my Dreamcast since we last played, and I heard there might have been, now let's see if this works. Okay, it's working fine. Okay, so I'm not worried about it. I did hear on the forums that some people were having trouble with their USB GD-ROM recently, and they suspected that possibly there was a data bomb in there just to make you upgrade the firmware. Now, I haven't upgraded the firmware since I purchased the unit, so I'm still working with whatever the last release was. So the big concern is, okay, if there's a data bomb in it, and Nemo quits updating, he just decides to get out of the business and not make any more firmware updates, well, does that mean that these things become bricks? But it appears as though everything's pretty good. I haven't noticed any issues in terms of not playing any game files, so I don't really see any need at the moment to upgrade the firmware, but I'm going to keep my nose to the ground and see if anybody else is having any difficulty. And you know, if it seems to just be a one-off between that one person, then I'm not going to worry about it too much. But if there is, you know, somebody does reveal that the firmware has a bit of a data bomb in it, and it's sort of enticing you, or forcing you rather, to upgrade, then that's bad news for the USB GD-ROM. Okay, let's select a ship. Okay, on Acilia 0, 0. Oh, cool. Altamira's got a few folks. So let's go to Altamira and see who's online tonight. Now, hopefully we can play. Oh, cool. Who do we got here? King at level 200. I don't think I've ever played with King before. Okay, let's try and see if anybody's got a team going. Organized team. Join team. Normal mode, eh? I gotta admit, I'm not really too excited to play normal mode, so let's see who is online tonight. Chat. Simple mail. Whoops. Nope. We want to go to guild card. What am I doing? Choice search. Search. Okay, so we've got Pandora, level 19, and King. So Pandora, I don't think we know that person. Be kind of nice to help somebody get to level 20 tonight. So let's just jump in and see what they're doing exactly. Organized team, join team. And if they're doing something interesting or interested in leveling up, maybe we can blast them through a couple of different events and get them up to at least hard, where things will start to get interesting. So where is Pandora? Now tonight is Saturday. I'm going to see if anybody wants to play Monaco Online tomorrow, because that would be really cool with the new wheel. And if they are interested in playing, we'll certainly get online for that. And I think that'll probably be the last event online till at least Wednesday, because Tuesday I'm going to be going to a event called Geek Swap. Hey there, did you want some help? And what Geek Swap is that every year, or I shouldn't say every year, it's actually quite semi-regular. A couple times a year, people that I belong to in this group that live in downtown Toronto get together, rent out a space in a bar, and just swap comics and action figures and things like that. I don't speak English. I am Brazilian. Okay. No problem. Alright, so Pandora does not speak English. They're Brazilian. That is not a problem, but maybe we should let them do their thing for a while, and let's go to Ultimate. Let's start an Ultimate team, and maybe we can convince some people to join us. So organize team, create team, PSO version 2, let's call it UGB, and let's make it Ultimate and register. So I've actually already made a couple of pre-deals on it. I did actually find a couple more things out thrifting this week, but they're already sold. Did actually make quite a bit of money on some of the things I was getting rid of, which I'm kind of happy about. Nice to get back in the black in terms of cash, but it also means I can't show you because they're gone. So tough break for me. Alright, do I have anything on me that I don't necessarily need? No, I think I'm pretty good. So let's just jump right into the forest, and maybe somebody will join our team and message us when they're available. I will definitely be playing Pod. So Pod is another game that just went live this week, and I haven't had a chance to play either game yet. I was actually, Dave and I had been in conversation about this wheel, so I was really excited about getting the wheel in before I started playing any of these racing games. So now that the wheel's in, I will definitely be getting on to both of those games. Obviously with the USB GD-ROM, I don't need the physical discs, and I've actually got the full catalog of the Japanese PAL and USA Dreamcast collection, and they're all pure rips from what's it called there? I think it's called Pleasure Dome. It's a torrent tracker, and they've got a couple of really good torrent packs that you can download, and they're all free leech as well, which is kind of nice. And I ended up downloading all of the games plus a couple of patches, and another person helped me out as well with a link to all of the homebrews they currently had as well. So I've got quite a bit of Dreamcast games. I just haven't gotten around to buying a 2 terabyte hard drive as of yet. The only thing really stopping me is my own laziness. I passed up a couple of good opportunities on Amazon. They had a couple of really good deals for, I believe, like $70, and of course with free shipping with the Amazon Prime and everything. But had it in my cart and then sort of forgot about it, and that's it. But I'll get around to it soon enough. At the moment, I can fit quite a bit on my USB stick, and I do have a couple of decent sized USB sticks as well. 64 gigabyte ones and a couple of 32 gigabyte ones. So more than enough to put some full Dreamcast games in on the moment. But ultimately, I'd like to just set and forget a hard drive inside and not have to worry about it too much. Now, I did hear from somebody that depending on the speed of your hard drive, you're going to want a fairly fast hard drive. Only because if it's a hard drive that is slower, what's going to happen is when you boot on your Dreamcast to with the USB GD-ROM, and it powers up the probably USB 3 hard drive, it might not boot it up fast enough to actually catch the hard drive and recognize it. In that case, you're going to be kind of out of luck. It's not going to be able to read it. So just make sure that if you are going to get the USB GD-ROM, you get a fairly decent, fairly quick hard drive along with it. Otherwise, you're going to be frustrated by it's not working. And also, the other thing to remember is that you got to format to, I believe it's FAT32, which can be a little frustrating if you're not familiar with FAT32. And primarily, it was used for much smaller volumes on your hard drive. So what happens is when you have a particularly large hard drive, you're going to want to make sure that you format it properly. And the best way to format it properly is get a specialized formatting tool. Now you can use the one that's built into Windows, and I don't use Mac, but I imagine they have something similar. But the one on Windows is a little bit finicky, so make sure you get a decent format tool. There's one called Ease Us, which is pretty good, or Ease US. I'm not sure how they actually pronounce it. And that one's pretty decent. It's freeware. You can upgrade to a pro version, but if you just plan on using it once, you can install it. Make sure that you read the agreement properly, because it does kind of, I shouldn't say trick you, it's right there, but if you're just clicking next, you're going to miss all of the third-party software that it wants you to install as well. And that's obviously stuff you don't want to have on your computer. And yeah, like I said, if you just plan on using it once, just install it, do your make your hard drive FAT32 and then delete it. And if you need it again, just download the freeware. There's very few pieces of software that I've purchased online that I never had the physical copy for. In fact, the last one I can actually remember is a piece of software that I had to do some research on before I bought it, called Stellar Recovery. And the reason I needed that was because something happened with my computer. I don't know what. It was a number of years ago now. But ultimately, I ended up having to format my computer because everything was locked down on it. I couldn't even run in safe mode, Norton, or any other antivirus programs rather. So I couldn't figure out what was wrong, and then it started deleting my hard drives and formatted a couple of my spare drives and everything like that, and I ended up having to just do a clean install of Windows. But what it meant was all of my files on my computer that I hadn't backed up were gone. So I was really frustrated, especially since it had formatted things. Because when you format your computer, it's, if you delete volumes on your computer and you're using recovery software, it's fairly easy to recover that information. But once you format, if you don't know how that works, is that basically when you format your computer, it doesn't really delete anything. It just makes the space available for other programs. So what happens is it'll take take the volume, and it'll take everything that's on the volume and just say that it's available to be written over. So if you do catch it early enough on a formatted drive and it doesn't write over the file set for deletion, you can recover a lot of that information. But if you start installing new software, or you start doing updates and things of that nature after you do, like, let's say, a clean install of your computer, it's just going to continue to break down the files that are set to be deleted, and you're going to lose your chance to recover them if you need to. So just something to be aware of. When I did it, ultimately I lost a lot of the stuff that was on my main hard drives, but fortunately I had some backup hard drives. And in fact, I had some hard drives that I'd backed up and deleted but did not format, and I was actually able to recover a lot of stuff as well. There was a lot of things like pictures, and actually my biggest concern was a lot of the music files that I'd worked on for in some cases up to 20 years using Acid Pro. Good evening, sir, to you too. And the reason I was so pissed was I had that stuff for archival purposes primarily, and I was working on a lot of new stuff, but it also meant that I lost a lot of the presets that I had done with my VSTs, and a lot of the individual wave samples and files and stuff like that I had written were gone. And even after I recovered everything, it meant that I was going to have to go through every music file one by one, and if I can't replace the files that were corrupted, I guess that I'm going to have to either recreate it or forget it or somehow do without. So I recovered some of it, and it's all just sort of sitting on a hard drive somewhere, but to be honest, I don't think I'm ever going to get around to pawing through it. A lot of it was like I said, for archival purposes primarily. If you look through my channel, you're going to notice that I have a few albums that I made back, I guess I can say back in the day now, because it's been a while since I've actually gotten around to making a full-on album, just sort of one-off songs here and there. But, you know, I'm not, shouldn't say I'm not proud of that stuff, but, you know, the music is one and done, you know, it's over, and I enjoyed making it at the time, and people that were listening to it at the time seemed to enjoy it as well. In fact, a couple of those albums, I released some music files on various platforms before Bandcamp, and I had some stuff on MySpace, which actually some of it might be there, because if you don't know, if you started up a MySpace account back in the day, that stuff's up there for good. They don't let you delete that shit. So I do still have an active MySpace profile sitting around somewhere, and at one point there was this company that I guess was probably using a bot to scour the internet, and they were taking my music and turning it into ringtones and selling it. So I tried to track them down and file some you know, Digital Millennium Copyright Act complaints, but didn't really go anywhere, and I was like, whatever. People are listening to it, great. Hopefully they give me credit at least, you know. the least I can expect from being having my creative work stolen from me. But anyways, yeah, so the Stella software, it worked pretty well. I was quite happy with it. Actually, it's not on my computer right now. I should probably see if I can re-download it, but pretty useful little tool to have in the event that you do have a catastrophic failure on your computer. And like I said, if you do have some problems on your computer, always a good idea to try and recover the data before you format, because once you format, it just makes life a lot more difficult. Cool, man. Well, if you ever decide to get back on to PSO, let me know, and hopefully we can play a game together. I'm always excited to play with, well, any new players really, but a lot of the people that played this game back in the day, I'm very curious to see how they think of this game now. I've heard some people say they weren't so impressed because I guess the community back in the day used to be much bigger, which is understandable, but you know, we do have quite a bit of people on at times. Now tonight seems a bit quiet, but it's still early as well. So we'll see who decides to jump on, but you know, at times the lobby's full. You can't even really see anybody. There's so many people booting around the lobby. I can only imagine that back in the day it was much busier, but I'm quite, I never experienced it back then, so I don't really have any frame of reference, and I'm just quite content with the fact that you're actually able to play it online. I just find it fascinating that all of these third-party servers, I just find it fascinating that the community is able to get together, and there's some geniuses out there that know how to look through this stuff and are able to recreate what some of these big companies probably spent quite a bit of money trying to put together themselves. Probably had quite large teams trying to get it together as well, and I just find it funny that you can now do this stuff. Like one person can set up a server, whereas like before you probably had a team that got together to try and set up a server. Oh, that's not good. Okay, get out of here. Freeze trap. Okay, come on, freeze, freeze, freeze. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's get some distance here. Jeez, I'm kind of boxing myself into a corner, aren't I? Alright, let's get up here and maybe we can finish these guys off, because they're pretty much done. There we go. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I assume that door is going to open after I clear out these monsters. Or should I say animals, because I guess they aren't really monsters in Red Gold. They're animals that are kind of on the fritz. It appears as though, from all the people I've spoken to and the NPCs and whatnot, that at some point in time, there used to be a bit of a more harmonious relationship with the animals of our goal, and now they're quite upset with us for whatever reason. So, okay, now does this bring me back around to the start? No. Where does this bring me? Okay, I think it's going to drop one of those hives. Let's just open up this guy in the interim. Okay, there we go. These guys. Oh, a mantis. Not particularly strong, but also quite a bit XP if I remember correctly. Okay, let's sneak around the corner and... oh, geez. Okay, heal up. You know what, just for fun, let's use our Yasminkoff. I guess I probably should use my special attack. Just by habit from using that S-rank weapon that I have, I've not been using my Yasminkoff, or not been using the special attack rather, as much. Oh, cool. I've actually been thinking about... I've had a couple people send me a link to a Dreamcast Discord server, but I've just never gotten around to it because I believe you use Skype to use Discord, and I don't really use Skype that much. I used to use it quite a bit, but then with Facebook Messenger, I kind of stopped using it. So, yeah, if you want to send me a link to your Discord channel, if you just want to even private message me, if you don't feel like posting it in the chat, I'd love to check it out and maybe start getting set up with it, because that would take this game to a whole new level if we could start playing multiplayer and then maybe broadcast the Discord chat as well. I think that would be kind of fascinating if we could all just be kind of talking to each other in real time, as well as playing Phantasy Star Online. It's funny because I can remember back in the day again, when I play things like Duke Nukem, where you could call up your friend with a dial-up modem and you could play the game just basically one-on-one. And at one point I went to a friend's house who was playing with another friend, and both of those people had separate phone lines, because that was the other thing back in the day. If you had a dial-up modem and you wanted to play a lot of games online, or if you wanted to use the internet quite a bit, you were kind of out of luck, because people still used to call each other on the phone. So, you know, if people wanted to use the phone, they kind of get frustrated and they started to pick up the phone to make a phone call. You'd drop carrier, and you know, way back when, if you wanted to download an MP3, sometimes you would have to like wait hours for that MP3 to download, just because, you know, a 4 meg MP3 to download on, you know, the 28.8 modem or 56K, which probably didn't have the infrastructure behind it in terms of the lines to support 56K, it would take forever to download. And there's nothing more frustrating than getting through, you know, 3/4 of a download to only have somebody pick up the phone and lose it. Same could be said for people that used to play online for consoles too, I suppose. You know, the Dreamcast, that could obviously be the case as well. And I guess if you were even using like X-Band or Netlink as well, that would have caused some issues. But then once the PS2 came along, you know, it had Ethernet integrated directly into it, and it became a non-issue. So again, nothing to tell you that you don't already know. So remember this pillar here, because if you're ever going to do the quest offline, this is the pillar that you're going to have to find at some point in order to complete the quest. Okay, come on, you sons of guns. Yeah, let's use a good fuse trap. Why not? People are probably going to have to go back to Pioneer at some point in the very near future anyways. I've got to stock up on some of my die and my trimates. Yep, not a problem at all. Just send me a private message with the link and we'll take it from there. Because I'm curious about the Discord and getting set up with it. It seems like I'm being a bit of a Luddite in terms of technology, which is kind of hilarious when you think about what I'm trying to do here with the Dreamcast. Like not only going online, but also live streaming the online experience. Only to be kind of not interested in Discord simply because of the fact that I'm just unfamiliar with it. Has nothing to do with the actual software or service itself. I've used it before. I know it's available. I know it's quite reliable. But just like, more software to deal with. Blah. Oh, looks like my guys ran away. No, come on. Alright, we busted up these guys a little bit. Come on, just die already. Okay, cool. Alright, I think this is a good opportunity to telepipe back to Pioneer and maybe stock up on a couple of things. Hey, cool, thank you very much. I will definitely check that out a little bit later. Okay, item pack. Items. Telepipe. Use. And let's go back to Pioneer. Okay, and I'm also going to double check on Dreamcast Now to see who is playing. It does seem a little bit quiet tonight. Oh, we've got one more person playing Phantasy Star. Okay, cool. Well, maybe we should double back to the lobby and see if we can find anybody there. Okay, here we go. First thing is first. Actually, let's go back to... we're not going to worry about it because we're going to go back to the lobby anyways. And if we go back to the lobby, it's going to heal us, so I don't necessarily have to worry about that. So, oh wow, we were totally out. And am I going to get lucky? Oh, mono grinder, that's always fun. I was going to say, if we got a escape doll, that would be great. Item, and mono grinder. Use. So I've almost maxed out that S-rank weapon. I think it maxes out at 99. Okay, let's go back to Pioneer. See if we can find anybody to start up a quest with. Because it is getting boring on this solo quest. Well, I shouldn't say it's boring, it's kind of fun. Probably could beat the dragon on Ultimate. I've never tried to beat the dragon on Ultimate by myself. I don't imagine. Couldn't. Oh, cool. Got quite a few folks. Hey. Alright, let's see if these people are all Dreamcast players or if they're GameCube players. Not much. Just chilling on a Saturday night. Okay, let's... Well, somebody's quite excited. Cool. Alright, well, let's see what these guys' plans are. This guy's a DC too. Yep. You want to start a team? Sweet. Looks like we got at least 3 people, and oh, we can play him very hard for a while. Randori. Oh, that's too bad. Oh well. C'est la vie. Join the dark side. Get a DC. Alright, who else is on? Let's see if there's anybody. Sorry, I'm just going to skip over to the Facebook group here and see if there's anybody in... Okay, nobody's really responded to the Facebook message yet. It's all suggestive. Yeah, it is subjective. DC is cheaper. It's gonna cost you $100 probably to get Phantasy Star Online episode 1 and 2, and it'll cost you $20 to get Phantasy Star Online for the Dreamcast. Better on my wallet. Yeah, it would be nice if we could play together with GC, but unfortunately it just causes too many problems and makes everything get all funky. Have you tried playing PC? I know that PC and DC get along well. Yeah, apparently it's pretty good. Apparently it's pretty good, but I've only ever played on DC. Nope. It looks like fun, but I enjoy the quirks of the antiquated DC version. Well, the good news is it's fairly cheap to get online with a DreamPi setup, especially if you source the parts yourself. The hardest part, I think, is getting a compatible modem. But if you go to Dreamcast Live, I know that PC Wizard can throw you one fairly cheap anyways. $30 shipped for me, which was pretty cheap, I'd say. Me? What? You got to level 59 in one day? Holy shit, I think it took me like like a year to get to level 59. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. I think there are some new items you can pick up in the special event quests. Have you tried those yet? Just in terms of what you're saying there before about time, money, and getting back online, I completely empathize. You could probably... Now, there's a tutorial that I made on how to make a line voltage inducer. And it kind of walks you through the steps. And really, you don't need to get a Raspberry Pi 3. You can get a Raspberry Pi 0 and get online as well, which will only cost you about $10. And the rest of the parts that you source, probably the most expensive thing you're going to get is the USB fax modem, which you can get sometimes for about another $10, and then you can just build the line voltage inducer yourself. So, don't be too discouraged by the price. If you've got a fully functioning Dreamcast, you should be able to get on for fairly cheap. A few, but I never played this game back in the day, I was a poor college student. New games just suck up your life. I put a ton of time into Fallout 3 and Diablo 3 and still feel like that I got nowhere in those games. Yeah, that's true. There are quite a few titles today, but I find a lot of titles similar. I mean, they've always been kind of similar, but nowadays in particular, like I know Destiny 2 is the big game of the month, and I just have no interest in it. The newest PC game I've played is probably Diablo 3. My computer is kinda old, so I can't do much gaming past 2010. I have a HP Pavilion Elite that I bought back in 2011. (16 GB of RAM, but a dirt video card. Still works pretty well. I am a gold card member. Thank you. Do I know Costco? I have children. Of course I know Costco. I don't need stuff. I need pallets of stuff nowadays. Oh, really? I'll have to check it out. Wow. That actually might be the way to go. But I'm also in Canada, so that price is a bit higher over here. I actually think I may build my own, but I haven't built a PC since 1999. Are you sure you want to do that? Very true. But I mostly use my computer for video, audio, rendering, and gaming third. Last night I put in a solid 30 min of Plants versus Zombies. Woot. I'm actually streaming live right now. Yep. Go to YouTube/Ugly Goblin Boy. And you can see my fat face typing. Well, I guess my face isn't that fat. You know, now that I got the beard, kind of fills it out a little bit. What's so terrible about your pavilion rather? I have the HPE 000 series, and I don't know, I thought the pavilions were actually a pretty good release. So, oh hey, David's watching. Cool. David, you're gonna have to stream or watch this video earlier. I gave you a big shout out and thanks for that racing wheel. I really appreciate it. Okay, cool. Yep. You can watch me chat with people on my channel as we chat. So meta. Alright, now I'm just kind of being a dick. Alright, let's see if we can convince these guys. Well, I guess Spot 24/7 can't join us, unfortunately, but maybe we can get Randori out. Okay. Okay. Randori. Did you want to start a quest? Maybe we can do the Halloween horror event on VH and get you some level ups. Now we should be able to complete the Halloween quest on very hard. I'm not 100% confident because it is quite an intense quest. I think I did fairly well on hard, but yeah, I definitely died a few times. Okay, sweet. SWAT, you totally gotta get the PC version going. I think when you go to the guild, scroll to the bottom and it should be there. Don't quote me on it. Wow, that's a computer from 2017? Oh, sorry, for a computer in 2017. Oh, cool, David's on too. Sweet. Okay, sweet. I'm going to start a team. No love for GC. Nope. I just like flipping the games, not playing them. Speaking of which, I actually have this game here that I'll show a pickup. Why not? A game I got for $2 or so. Let's just change over the gaming screen while we're chit-chatting here, and that's Wario World. Oh, there we go. Wario World for the GameCube. Now, I don't play GameCube, and I know you can play it on Wii, but I don't really have an interest, I gotta be honest. So I'll probably just trade it in for something else that's cool. You know what else is really cool is I got this LCD handheld game, and at first I thought it was a bit broken because it wasn't working the way I thought. But then I found out how to play it, and it is actually a really cool game. So I picked it up only because of the name. So if you look here, it says Tetris 360. All right, and it's a little LCD handheld game. So you just power it on like so, and the screen actually is really, really bright. Oh, here we go. Turn off the sound. And you can see all the little parts going around and down. And you hit your buttons and they kind of speed up and they, you know, shift and all this kind of stuff. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. Anyways, at first I thought, okay, the thing is broken because it's only going down one way, but you're actually supposed to flip it around to change the direction of the blocks. And yeah, once you figure it out, it's actually a pretty complicated, cool little game. Okay, I gotta get back to the chat here because we are getting a full house. Awesome. Glad to see everyone joining. Okay, cool. This is great. This is great. Okay. Let's start a team. Organize, create PSO version 2. UGB. And let's do hard because we want to make sure that we get everybody on board, and hopefully at the end of this level, hopefully anyways, we'll be able to get Akira up to 40, and then we can start playing the very hard levels. So that'd be really cool. Okay, so Akira has already jumped in. Excellent. Now we're just waiting for a third person to burst in, if they're gonna join. Okay, let's go. I guess we really don't need anything over there, so let's just wait in the... Okay, cool. Randori did join. Excellent. And we might actually have a fourth. Okay, so let's talk with the Akira for a little bit. We need to get you to level 40 so we can start playing some VH levels. Feel like doing a grind? Yeah, we could do that. We need to go to Vega though. We would need to go to Vega though. So we can do towards the future here, but not the towards the future plus. Okay, did you guys want to switch ships? Okay, so oh, we gotta go to the bank. Sweet. We would have to switch ships to Vega instead of Altamira to do TFF++. Oh, what do we got? What do we got? Some presents? Oh, cool. Mono grinder. Ah, sweet. Cool. You don't need that. Actually, if we do HH, we should be able to get you to level 40 because there are quite a few monsters. Randori. Have you done that quest before? Oh, wow. Alright, sweet. Alright, let's just do the quest then. Come to the guild. Oh, did he? Oh, wow. Holy smokes. Wow. Thanks. Oh my goodness, Yakira continues to blow my mind with their generous donations. Alright, let's go to the guild and start a quest. Let's get the HH event going. And then from there we'll go to the various... Alright, let's just keep an eye out here for Akira. I think they just went to the store quickly, or the bank. Yeah, Akira, you at the bank. No prob. Just hit the guild when you're done. Alright, sweet. So when they're done, we'll get the event started. So in the interim, let's just switch over here. And one thing I've got to do is fire up this other steam whistle. And while we're waiting for Yakira, okay, sweet, there's Yakira there. I am going to show you guys a couple of other cool little pickups. Okay, so let's get the event started. Halloween horror, yes. So yeah, I got those two things. I also got this cool little DVD pack. Now, some of you people probably have watched this show, but I never got around to it, and it's the League of Super Evil. Anyways, it's the entire series, which is pretty cool little find. And apparently it's pretty expensive. I paid $1 for it, but I guess it goes for about $100 online. Part of me was thinking that maybe I'll rip it and see if I can sell it and buy some more cool Dreamcast stuff. So, alright, let's read the quest. I see you decided to accept this quest, UGB. I am Seek of the Pioneer 2 military. I have called you here to assist with a situation that is developing on Ragol. Until recently, I was responsible for guarding the scientists who have been studying the ruins of Ragol. During a recent experiment with the unusual photons in the ruins, one of our scientists created a mysterious rift. Although he assured us that it was safe, the research team has been unable to analyze it. And the organisms in the ruins became more aggressive after the rift appeared. All of our troops have been deployed to stop the advancing organisms, but they will soon breach our defensive lines. Our scientists have developed a way to seal the rift, but we cannot spare any troops to deploy the new countermeasure. That is why you are here, UGB. Your job is to penetrate the ruins and seal the rift. You can use this photon emitter to complete your task. Activate it once you have reached the rift. I suggest you finish your mission in all due haste. The rift must be sealed before the ruins organisms overwhelm our defenses. Good luck. Okay, I read that pretty well without too many impediments. I'm going to get some MA so that I can heal you folks. I haven't got round to the wheel tonight, but after this game, I hope to. Thanks again. Yeah, that was such a very generous donation. Can't emphasize enough how appreciative I am for having that donation. Okay, bye. We don't need any of those. Oh, escape doll for sure. And let's stock up on as many moon atomizers as we can, because once we start this event, we cannot go back. We'll work something out afterward. Yes, that is the big thing. I was shocked. So I was shocked at how quickly everything arrived from Japan to Canada. It was within a week. It just blows my mind how much cheaper it is to ship things from other countries to Canada as opposed to shipping things from Canada to other countries. I'll never understand why the prices are so different, but yeah, it was, again, quite a generous donation. I appreciate it very much. And again, to everybody that's contributed to like the Patreon and giving me random donations here and there, I appreciate it so much. It still blows my mind that people are being so generous to me. So, okay, where did Randori go? Randori, you ready? Don't really want to jump out too quickly because we want to make sure that Randori gets as much XP as possible. Okay, well, let's just jump in. Oh, we gotta wait for them. Okay, no problem. No prob. Once you get here, you need to read the event. So once he comes in here, there's going to be that little, it wasn't even a text crawl, it was just like a little splash screen, cut screen of the I guess the photon emitter thing. I have never used tech before because I've only ever played a droid. I feel like I'm missing out a ton. Okay. So, while we're waiting for Randori, I am going to show you guys a couple more interesting things. So here is another really cool pickup. So again, I like PC gaming, and as we discussed, I pretty much only play older PC games, but I managed to find these for $1.99 a piece, and it is basically the complete Baldur's Gate series. So found the big box version of Baldur's Gate 1 complete, found the expansion to Baldur's Gate 1 as well complete, and all the boxes are in excellent condition. And finally Baldur's Gate 2 complete as well. Didn't get the expansion for Icewinds, but that's quite alright. This is an amazing find. Again, I'm a big fan of big box PC collecting. So it's actually getting a little bit more harder. Sorry, not harder, but a little bit more difficult to get these big box PC games nowadays. More people are getting wise to it. So, okay, wherefore how that hast thou come to this place, where hunters vanish without a trace? These ruins belong to men no more, where their presence we spirits do deplore. If thou dost not thy course reverse, upon thy head we shall place a curse. Those who trespass on our sacred ground shall have their hands tightly bound. Okay, so remember, we get caught by this guy, we're gonna get paralyzed for a second. Okay, let's go back. They're still reading. Not a problem. Okay, so while they're still reading, I'm going to show you guys something else that was like a really interesting find. But I found this in the toy section. I always look in the toy section of thrift stores because they constantly place musical instruments in there, particularly electronic instruments that they have no idea what they are. And I found this. It is a little toy saxophone. Or is it? It's actually the Casio DH M100 MIDI saxophone. So I put some batteries in it. Unfortunately, the speaker works, the pads work and everything. I think a battery exploded in the back. Now I do have the back case as well. The back battery holder as well, but I took it out because I'm trying to clean it up. It appears as though maybe there's a damaged capacitor on the inside or something like that. So I'm gonna have to fix it a bit, but it does work really well as a MIDI controller. So I've been controlling, and it does work by breath. You can turn the breath off and on. But it was really fun controlling my keyboard with a saxophone MIDI controller. Really interesting find. And then looking online, of course, I was just like, holy shit, this thing goes for a fucking fortune. I was looking on eBay. There's 2 listings, and each listing wanted close to $400 for it. So, oh, cool, another grinder. Actually, I'm probably gonna have to. Oh, what happened to our friend? Oh, watch out for that thing. Guess I should probably give them the heads up. Oh, try me. Well, I don't need that yet. No, get him, get him, get him. Oh, God. Oh, man. Okay, no big deal. Okay, so I can't use any weapons for the meantime. I'm going to have to let our partner know. Watch out for the glowing thing. Bad things will happen to you if you touch it. Alright, let's tag these guys. Actually, let's just get rid of them. I think Akira has probably tagged most of them because they're pretty good with their tech. And while we're here, why don't we see what we got for items? Wow, this is fantastic. And more HP material, and mono grinders, and tri grinders. Wow, we're gonna really bulk up this weapon. Thank you again, Akira. Okay, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. All right. Boom, take him out. Holy smokes, I'm hitting for quite a bit now. Let's just tag them. Oh geez, I don't want to totally kill them because otherwise my partners here will not get the XP. But it appears as though they probably tagged them at this point. So I'm going to make the executive decision to completely take them out. Now, of the 3 of us, it appears as though Akira is the most vulnerable. So I'm going to try and make sure that I stick close to them and hopefully draw the fire from most of these enemies, even though historically I've been more of a sniper. But for the purposes here, it probably makes more sense that I take the lead and take the brunt of the hits. Okay, don't need the trimate. Don't need, well, I could probably use the telepipe. Okay, I just want to make sure that Kira gets a hit in before I take it out. And they have. And maybe I should actually feed my mag too on here. Now I think I was giving it Dimates before. What was I giving it? Oh, where's everybody going? Okay. Let's go up this way. I can't remember if it was Dimates or was it Trimates that I was giving it to bulk it up? Let's try that. Items. Remember, we don't want to give it anything. Yeah, we want to make sure. Oh, for fuck's sakes, we want to make sure that it's building up our sink. Oh, I don't want to quit. Item, mag. Okay, there we go. So it is Trimates after all. Okay, star atomizers will build up everything, but that's kind of the downside too. They build up everything. So we want to kind of make sure that we just build up power if we can. If we do build up things other than power, it's not the end of the world. We can always bring it back down again, but ideally we want to just build up the power on our mag. Let's get rid of these chaos sorcerers. They are quite the pain in the ass, and if you remember from the last game, it actually ended up taking us out too. Whoa, no. Oh. Snuck up on me. Damn fuzzy, glowing ball thing. Alright. Let's broke his curse. Now I guess my character is getting quite a bit stronger because even though I am taking a little bit of damage, I'm actually quite impressed with how well my character is handling this level. Okay, that's gone, that's gone. That's the way we came, so let's double back here. Take that guy out. And go to our next level. I always find that such a cool transition. Definitely, you know, whoa, oh, just ran right into it. Just like one of those random, just kind of like, little extra thing to throw into it, you know, like walk through a waterfall. You know, it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but in this game, any of the little perks kind of make it more interesting. Alright. So I'm not sure if my friends here can currently shoot because they're hit by the little fuzzy glowing ball thing, so let's just make sure they're okay. And I can't feed my mag as of yet. That's okay. That isn't open. Oh, I guess we got a Chaos Sorcerer that kind of snuck away on us. Okay, where is he going? Oh, come on. Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, shit. Uh-oh, Yakira is down. Okay, let's see if we can sneak out of here a little bit because we are getting picked apart. Okay, where is Yakira? Let's make sure that we help them out. And let's thin out the herd a little bit because this is going to drive people mad. Alright. Oh, I thought I brought Yakira back, but I guess I didn't. No big deal. Oh, and then there's the little yellow, white, fuzzy thingy. Get him, get him, get him! Oh. Damn it! can't even say I was debuffed, I was disarmed. Hermes, the new Dreamcast game. I honestly gotta say, like, a lot of these new Dreamcast games. So, anybody that's been around the Dreamcast scene recently is aware of a couple of new titles that have been coming out. So, Intrepid Izzy is currently on Kickstarter, waiting to be funded, and I think it's doing fairly well, but it's not quite there yet. And I'm not going to support any more Kickstarter games, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I kind of share the same sentiment that a lot of people in my position do, where I have supported a few Kickstarter projects in the past, and they used to be pretty successful. You know, like I supported that really terrible Cheetahman 2 Kickstarter, a couple other random ones here and there. But, you know, I supported Elysian Shadows, which is still yet to be released, and they don't interact with the people that gave them money at all. It might as well just be a dead game at this point. The team behind it has completely gone radio silent. I'm part of their YouTube channel. I'm on their Facebook group. They don't tell us anything about what's going on. So I'm actually going to request a refund, because it wasn't like it was cheap. I think I gave them $80, and you know, they just haven't done anything. I don't believe the game is ever going to get released. I gotta be honest. I also supported a game. It wasn't even a Kickstarter game. It was actually a pre-order for a game, which makes me more frustrated because the pre-order implied that the game was available, and it wasn't. So, you know, a lot of people, including myself, pre-ordered it, and okay, where's Randy? And that game is Slave. It looked great, but you know, everybody gave them the money, and then nothing happened, and they never updated. They occasionally send out an email once in a while. So here's what I'm thinking with Hermes and Intrepid Izzy. I might pick them up if they get funded, but to give these people money in the hopes that they put this game together, I can't do it anymore. Dreamcast has had a pretty bad history of not following through. Another game that some people have forgotten about that never fell through, or never came through, is Henshin Engine. Now, Henshin Engine, the guy behind that game, he also released another game on Kickstarter that he never followed through on. And a guy from the Dreamcast Junkyard, Ross, who is on the podcast and contribute. I think he's an admin as well. He revealed some comparisons with the sprites that were used for the original game that the team behind Henshin Engine put on Dreamcast that never came to life, and how those were incorporated into their Henshin Engine game. He also mentioned that, you know, they kind of went radio silent on their last game that they promised, and it never saw the light of day, and kind of gave them grief because the Dreamcast release of that game, even though they're promoting it, was simply based on the funding for the Mega Drive release. So if the Mega Drive game never came through, then that perk wouldn't come through at all. Or you couldn't get that perk. Sorry, of course that wouldn't happen, but you had to buy the Mega Drive game in order to unlock the perk for the Dreamcast game. Which seemed a little sketchy. Anyways, the guy behind Henshin Engine and his wife, I think it was, started trolling the forums, talking about how they're under a lot of stress and they don't want to rip people off, and how they're being slandered by places like the Dreamcast Junkyard. And Dreamcast Junkyard countered and were like, we're not slandering you at all. This is your history, and this is what you're asking. So they ended up changing the reward structure, where it was no longer a perk to get the Dreamcast version. If you unlock the Mega Drive version, you can just support the Dreamcast version. Okay, great. and then they went radio silent again. It's been about a year and they haven't updated. The game isn't well past its release date. Oh, damn. Sorry there, David. I didn't... This game is really bad for disconnecting people. I should have given you the heads up on that, but hopefully we can get together and play another game soon. I know that's kind of difficult being in Japan and everything like that, so I'll just speak with Randall here, or Randori, and see what his plans are. Okay, let's get through here. Blah 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 blah. So, anyways, the Henshin Engine game. Going back to it, nobody knows what's happening. The emails aren't being responded to. I assume the game is dead. That's the only thing I can assume at this point. I didn't support that game either, because given the team's history, I just suspected that it wasn't going to come through. And sure enough, it didn't. Everything that Ross said on the Dreamcast Junkyard was true. You know, the guy went radio silent, and the game is essentially effectively dead in the water. So, that being said, I just can't get behind these Kickstarter games anymore. I don't want to give people money to develop a game and then not have it come through and then get like bitter towards the community. Fortunately, I'm not going to get bitter over $80 and $50. You know, what's done is done. They need it that bad, whatever. I'm sure that most of these people that put these games together, their heart's in the right place. They do have good intentions, but I can't. Oh shoot, I'm paralyzed. I still, you know, it's not a charity. If this is what you promised, then you deliver. And too many people haven't been delivering. In the Line of Fire is another game that suffered that same sort of situation, where they had a lot of difficulty getting funded. They were asking quite a bit, and it looked like a fantastic first-person shooter. Actually, it wasn't first-person; it was over-the-shoulder shooter, I think. And I did give them money because I was quite confident that they sent out some demos, and it looked pretty good. Sorry, excuse me. But that one also didn't happen either, and again, just kind of soured the whole independent scene for me a little bit. You know, there's not that many independent Dreamcast games being released, and the amount of Dreamcast games that have not seen the light of day is a shockingly high percentage of them don't ever make it. So I don't know. I think I'll wait. It does look like it might be an interesting game. I heard it's fun-ish. Intrepid Izzy. I know Hermes. I think Hermes is out actually. I've seen a couple of copies of it floating around. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that Elysian Shadows is dead in the water. You know, I actually supported it after the fact, to be quite honest. They did an interview with the guys at the Dreamcast Junkyard on the DreamPod. And, you know, listening to, what's his name there, Falco, I think his name is, talk about the project, I just got this impression that he was like a really impassioned programmer, and this was kind of like a passion project for them, and they were going to get it off the ground, but, you know, it never happened, and I kind of, you know, I kind of feel hustled a bit, to be quite honest. The way they made it sound was like they were just about to finish up, and they were spending every night and day working out the bugs to get this game off the ground, and sure enough they weren't. They were just kind of struggling and had a couple of good concepts and things like that, but nothing really playable. Some proof of concept ideas, some interesting engine ideas, but beyond that, not much. And you know, I drank the Kool-Aid as it were, and I ended up becoming a slacker backer on that one. Unfortunately, I didn't ask for any like the sort of premium slacker backer perks. I was quite comfortable with just getting the game and game alone. But yeah, that said, still gave them a lot of money, and I'm sure it's already been spent, and I doubt I'll be getting it back now. But I think I will send them an email and just sort of request a refund and see how far it goes. Again, I think it's all money that's been spent and it's done now, but at the same time, I guess I'll give it a try. Now, Slave, on the other hand, that's a game that I'm still holding out hope for, because at least they still occasionally will send updates to people. The updates are not exciting by any means, but at least they're updates. Sorry if my voice is sounding a bit hoarse, I'm starting to lose it. And the last update they sent, they basically said that you know, they fixed some, I guess there were some cache problems, like maybe the buffer was overflowing or something to that effect on the game, and that's been fixed and it's basically console ready. And that said, there's still no console version. But at least they're giving me confidence with their updates that it still might happen. And that game was one of those games where it wasn't particularly expensive to support. I think it was only $23 for shipped US for that game. And I bought 2 copies just because, I don't know why I bought 2 copies, to be honest. I don't think I planned on flipping them. But I bought 2 copies, and you know what, if the game ever becomes released, and I don't know why I bought 2 copies, maybe what I'll do is let's do a giveaway on the channel. So if it ever does get released, I do have 2 copies coming in, and we'll figure out some sort of fun giveaway. Won't be anything too crazy. You know, sometimes these people that have these YouTube channels want these giveaways where it's like, you know, you gotta like the Twitter, you gotta like the Instagram account, you gotta share on Facebook, you gotta do this, do that, do this, do that. That's not really this type of channel. So maybe it'll just be something to the effect of, post your favorite Dreamcast game in the comments and we'll do a live spin at the end of the week. Which is probably a little bit more reasonable for most people. And who knows, maybe we'll get some wallflowers out too that don't comment in the chat and don't comment on the channel as well, coming out there just to see what their thoughts are, which would be kind of fun. Yeah, the big thing with Elysian Shadows was they were going to try and do like an isometric RPG game. And I guess they were looking at developing a brand new engine for it as well. Had a lot of there seemed to be a lot of these sort of like extra perks that kind of made me think at some point that maybe they're biting off a little bit more than they could chew. Speaking of chew, let's view our Choo Rocket Mag. And let's get some of these materials used as well. Would not be fantastic if we can get this guy to level 99 tonight. Alright, here we go. So apparently they're using some sort of new engine that was going to render shadows in real time and all this kind of stuff. And I don't really know the technical parts behind it. I'm not a programmer. But I was kind of getting concerned, and I did post a couple of comments on different Facebook groups at a certain point because I noticed that the Elysian Shadows channel had sort of transitioned from updates about the game Elysian Shadows and turned more into, it seemed like they were doing theoretical concepts on VMUs for the Dreamcast that incorporated like more memory and a higher end LCD and I think media player capabilities as well. Very unnecessary sort of Hoop Dream type mods. Oh, I shouldn't say mods. I think they're going to develop it from the ground up. But I got to thinking, I was like, you guys, like, what's the point of doing this? Like, I mean, you haven't even fulfilled your first commitment yet, and here you are on talking about rebuilding the VMU. Just, it seemed like a bit much to expect anybody to buy into it when they haven't even completed their first project yet. But anyways, maybe they thought people forgot? I don't know. Alright, let's find a safe place to sit. There we go. And let's read our... Okay, we can't do that yet. Let's go to the chat and simple mail. Receive mail. Okay, cool. Sure, sounds good. Alright, where are we going now? Okay, here we go. Alright, does this bring us to the third and final level? Not quite yet. Okay. Guess we need to find one more door. Alright, let's make sure that our friend here, Rendori... Oh shit. Ah, fuck. Okay, what just happened? Seems as though my character is like, what? Paralyzed? Okay, where did... Dead again. Yeah, well, it happens. There we go. Perfect. Okay, don't want to grab his Meseta. And let's see what our friend said. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's get out of there. Bang. Dead. Okay, cool. So I think this is a fairly quick part of the level. Don't quote me on it. Okay, let's open up these doors. 1, 2. Oh shit, I forgot about that fog. The fog will slowly kill you, by the way. So I hope we have some decent tech going on here, because otherwise we're going to be dead before we know it. Now, fortunately, my character has quite a bit of health. Ah, sweet. Sweet. Level 60. 60, rather. Okay, let's get these fucking guys out of here. We are going to get hit by that fuzzy guy in no time. Okay, now what do we do? So we opened up that, we opened up that. I guess now we just kill these guys and the door should unlock. Hopefully. Star atomizer, that would be useful to somebody. Okay, after this, we're going to have to take a look at our mag. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that is kind of bizarre that you disconnected with the BBA, because I was under the impression that the BBA was the standard connection that most people were playing this quest with. It's sort of optimized for the BBA, so I don't know. Kind of disappointing. Sorry about that, David. Didn't think it would crash on you. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. So there is officially... I'm going to have to go to the Facebook page then too. Blew all the money. You fucking crook. Well, thanks for giving me that update. I haven't taken a look at the page forever. Wow. Okay, well, there you go. This is why I'm not going to be supporting any of these Kickstarter projects. What a piece of shit that Falco guy is. Because he came out, I think it was probably... Oh shoot, I'm confused as well. He came out probably about 2 months ago. Because actually I made a post to the Dreamcast Junkyard. Uh-oh, item... And I said, like, has anybody heard anything from the team over at Elysian Shadows? And everybody was kind of like, you know what? I haven't actually recently. And they called him out, and sure enough, he came back and replied and said that, oh no, the game's still in development, I'm just really, really busy. But obviously it was all bullshit. Well, I'm definitely going to be tearing a strip off of him. That fucking guy, I can't believe he would... especially when only a month ago, Falco came on and just went on a tirade about how people have to have faith in him. He's still working on the project and all this kind of stuff. Ugh, angry. All right, let's focus that anger toward PSO. PSO never lets us down. Our patience with men grows slowly thin, yet still thou seekest to dwell herein. Though thy will is hard to break, thou shalt not our convictions shake. The space shall not stay, and we shall send thee on thy way. Without the stature that thou dost prize, thou shalt soon meet thy demise. Okay, I think this is the last level. So he's going to release the game on Steam as a refund. What a fucking prick. So the game's going to be completed, but he can't afford to release it on the formats that he promised. Wow. Wow. You know what that tells me? There are people that press the game. Fucking take the code, do whatever it is you got to do, like a load of front-end emulator or whatever it is on it, and just put it on DC. Release it without that. And what happens to the people that ended up spending all that money on the extra perks too? This is why I can't do Indiegogo and Kickstarter anymore. The last Indiegogo I actually supported was this guy, Chris Moon, who I think is probably going to follow through with it because he actually gives updates pretty regularly, and he released a prototype and everything for his project. He's the guy that's releasing the Dream PSU. So the new power supply unit where you can hook up a bunch of different things if you need to the Dreamcast, and it's actually a smaller profile and uses less energy in, more energy out. And I suspect that's going to be coming through because the last updates he said was basically like the parts are coming in, it's probably going to be released sooner than he expected, which is great. But these games, yeah, just time and time again, they seem to want to rip us off. You know, these people have these great ideas and they sell us on it, and we drink the Kool-Aid, we buy the hype, we give them all this money, and we think these development teams, these small indie development teams are more than what they actually are. And what they actually are is, in Falco's case for instance, one dude with an idea. He appeared to have some problems, like he discussed it on the Dreamcast Junkyard, like he's doped up on Adderall all the time and stuff like that. But I think he even said he was like living in a shed or something like that, or like a motorhome. I can't remember exactly. Anyways, no disrespect. People live in those kind of environments, I guess, but definitely didn't appear as though he was doing fantastic. And he did mention that he worked with a couple of people on the team that either stole money from him or said they were doing work that they actually weren't doing, so I guess resources were spent on that. But you know what, that's the cost of doing business. And if you want to have your reputation completely destroyed by not releasing this game as you intended, like if this is your dream, if you plan to work in the field of game development, you can't do this. You only get one shot nowadays. The internet does not forget. And the fact that this guy figures that he can just kind of like continue on working even within Dreamcast with this new VMU he was promoting on his channel, like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Do you think anybody's gonna support that? I mean, I guess there might be a few people that are just new to the scene that might initially support it, but you gotta be kidding me if you think anybody that's been following your projects for the last couple of years is ever going to give you another fucking dime. Now, I can't remember the third guy's name, or sorry, not the third guy. There's a second guy involved in the project as well. There's Falco and there's somebody else. And anyways, I assume he's off the team as well. I can only assume, because I haven't heard anything from that guy since the interview in the Dreamcast Junkyard, which was over a year ago, to be quite honest. So, you know, lots of stuff can change since then. Yeah, so if you're new to my ramblings, the game we're talking about is Elysian Shadows, which was a Kickstarter game that started its funding about 3 years ago now. And I'm just getting the word now that the game has been canceled for Dreamcast, and it appears as though it's getting a Steam release, maybe, as compensation for the amount of money that people put into supporting the game. So just a quick recap, I was a Slacker backer. I heard their interview on the Dreamcast Junkyard, and it seemed like a really fascinating game, and I was really excited about it. It seemed like a new original RPG, sort of in the spirit of Pierre Solaire, which, see, that was a campaign that not only delivered what it was supposed to, but I think it went well and beyond. Now, I wasn't even a Slacker backer for that project, but I ended up buying on eBay the Deluxe Collector's Edition for extremely cheap. Oh, shoot. I got it for, I think, delivered 125, or maybe it was $150 Canadian. Which sounds like a lot, but it's a gorgeous package. It came with a hardcover collector's manual, big box with, you know, I'm not really huge into like the trinkety stuff, but it all fits nicely into this box and looks pretty decent. So yeah, really cool package. Again, I got it way after the fact for fairly cheap, and I played a little bit of it. Now, it says it'll output in 1080p, I think, or not 1080p rather, but it'll output in 16:9 widescreen resolution over VGA. But I could never quite get that to work properly, so I'm not 100% sure why it won't output the resolution that it says. There were a couple of different patches that you can apply to Dreamcast games using like the Game Shark that will output and re-render somehow the game to output in widescreen. I think Shenmue you can do it in. Again, oh, get out of there. Don't quote me on it, but I believe that's one of the games that if you enter in a certain amount of codes, you can actually play the game in widescreen. It's not all stretched out and doesn't look all distorted. It's actually properly the proper ratio. But yeah, that was a great, that was an example. I think that's actually why a lot of people bought into that Elysian Shadows, and maybe not Slave to such an extent, but Slave was one of those games that they released a fantastic trailer, and after they released this fantastic trailer and the game was so cheap, and it said pre-order, it didn't say Kickstarter, it implied that the game was available and ready to go. A lot of people bought into it, and yeah, unfortunately it just wasn't available when they said it was supposed to be. Now, they, in all fairness, they never gave a release date. They also said it was a pre-order, which implied the game was done, and it was revealed after the fact the game was far from done. It was crashing quite a bit. I guess it was just used a lot of resources that they had to optimize in the code so it didn't crash the game, and they wanted to make sure that if the game was released, it was going to have no issues. They didn't want to have to release, like, 'cause you can't release a patch for Dreamcast games. Once it's out in the wild, it's out there. You're responsible for it, warts and all. So that being the case, they wanted to make sure that it was a perfect, optimized release. And I'll give them credit for that. If it wasn't ready to go, I'm glad they didn't rush it, but still, they probably shouldn't have pre-ordered it and taken people's money. Yeah, actually, we're currently playing online. We're not playing GameCube, though. We're playing the Dreamcast version of Phantasy Star Online. I'm gonna have to actually check out, and I can't do it right now, but after I'm done this game, maybe I'll check it out to even see if the Elysian Shadows channel is still active, because I haven't really checked that in a while. Generally, I'll just only check it when there's an update in my feed through YouTube. But I'd be curious to see if they actually took down the channel, because they used to have this, you know, web series that I never even really watched. I could care less, but it was like Adventures in Game Development or something to that effect. And it was just behind the scenes footage of them working on the game and sort of the trials and tribulations of trying to get an indie game off the ground, and really made it seem as though it was a you know, this big labor of love that everybody was sort of slaving over and whatnot. But I guess, you know, it was all smoke and mirrors to get a couple bucks. Now, in all fairness, I don't know these guys. I might be putting a little bit too much, might be applying my own narrative to their story. But I don't think they got into it totally for the wrong reasons. I suspect they actually wanted to get this game off the ground and just simply bit off way too much. You know, they had way too much expectations of the game. It appears as though they, you know, some of the team had a lot of issues going on, and I'm not going to try and explore what those are, because I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist or anything. For those of you that don't know, I am actually a social worker, but again, that's a different area of expertise. You know, maybe I could help the people that are struggling find the resources they need to get better, but it's not my job to diagnose them. So, anyways, I'm gonna let it slide. I'm not gonna let it ruin my day. I think from now on, I'm only gonna support these projects for people that I'm familiar with in the online community. So there are a couple of people that I trust. There's actually this one guy on the Dreamcast Junkyard and Dreamcast Hub Facebook groups, and for the longest time, he's had a really brilliant idea on how to natively output HDMI through a different, it's like a, it's not even really a, well, it is a mod, but essentially instead of hardwiring anything to your Dreamcast, it's like a little PCB board that you kind of slip in, and it's optimized from HDMI, and you don't need to have like the Akura box or anything like that, and it'll just output HDMI, and I guess you kind of take out the back, what would be there, like the back jack that you've got hooked up for your AV output, and you just end up replacing it with, I guess, an HDMI output instead. But yeah, I trust this guy. He's been working on it for quite some time, and he hasn't made any promises. He hasn't taken anybody's money. He's a guy that's doing this out of a labor of love, rather, for sure. And he's made it quite clear that he's just kind of working on it in his spare time. Once he gets a working prototype made, then he's going to start taking, you know, orders and stuff like that, and see if he's got enough interest in it to make it worth his time, which I think is fair. As long as you've got a working prototype, and it sounds to me like he's going to even bypass the whole prototype stage. It's going to be like, this thing is going to be in the can and ready to mass produce, and I will take orders and I will have it done. But yeah, I haven't really heard much follow-up recently on it. I don't think it's because he's gone radio silent like some of these other guys we're talking about. I think it's just simply because nobody's really inquired about it, because every time we bring it up, he goes into a bunch of technical specs that are far beyond my capability to understand. And oh shit. Again, I just get the impression that he definitely doesn't want to make any promises that he can't keep, and is probably rightfully, intelligently keeping a bit of a low profile on this project. So I respect him a lot. Whose name is Ash, I believe. Oh shit, come on, get up. Where is all these guys hiding? Oh fuck. So yeah, the difference between this mod and the Akira box is that, well, for one thing, you don't have a big nasty box sticking out, which is kind of nice. But the Akira box, I think what it was like, it kind of just outputs a transcoded 480p signal over HDMI. And this will actually upscale the resolution to full, I think he said it's going to upscale it to like full 1080p HDMI, which is brilliant. Again, those kind of technical things, they're well beyond my capacity to really understand. I'm good at following mod instructions that somebody else has already figured out. I'm not really that great at creating the mods themselves, except for that one mod with the Game Gear that I was talking about earlier on in the chat. I think I can get that going. We'll see. I'm going to try with a Game Gear that I've recapped recently, and you know, it can always, this mod works. It won't be a game changer by any means, but it'll certainly offer an alternative to keeping your Game Gear charged more conveniently. Let's just put it that way. Uh-oh, I'm still confused. What's going on? Alright. And TriMate, yes, we could use that. Any other goodies? Not really. Okay, we got one more guy on the go. Where is he hiding? There it is. Okay, I think this was the door that was locked before that we couldn't get through. So now where do we go? We go... Not here. Okay, now we're ready to win. Okay, last boss. Ready? Walk up and hit A. Okay, here we go. Yes. Oh, I think we're gonna do it. And it imploded. Perfect. Quest complete. Sweet. Well, in case you guys haven't done it already, because all of this information about Elysian Shadows is quite new to me. I'm sure it's going to be new to other people as well who haven't been following it in a while. Maybe bring attention to some of the admins over at some of the main Dreamcast related websites, because I'm sure they would really like to know this information. If you get to them before I do, probably after this game actually, I'm going to start emailing a few folks and just letting them know that this game that most people were telling us rather, wasn't going to happen, and we all kind of... I leveled up once. It gets a bit harder after a while, but we should have played in VH. Unfortunately, Yakira de-seed, and we were primarily playing in hard to level them up to 40 so they could join us in VH. Only 20 more for you till alt though. All right, let's see if we got anything at the bank that this guy can use. Okay, actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna use all these grinders because I think we might actually. It's our 92. Do we have enough? 93, 94, 95, 97. Close. Okay, we're gonna have to sell a couple of things here. And while we're here, actually, let's give our poor little Meg a bite. Okay, let's put this in the bank too, so that way it can heal up. Let's see if we can give our friend anything cool. Game magazine might be kind of fun. And let's see if they can use anything here. Yeah, let's give one of these guys. Why not? Okay, let's see if our friend can use any of this gear. Items. Drop, and drop. I'm not sure if you can use this, but it's yours if you like. But you know what, guys? I feel I'm just reading the comments now, talking about, and there's a couple of people in the chat discussing backing the game, Elysian Shadows. So if you're just coming new to the chat, I was going on a pretty long tirade about Elysian Shadows, and it's come to my attention that it's not going to be funded for Dreamcast Now. It might get a Steam release. And people mentioning that they supported the campaign as a backer, and you know, stupid me, I supported it as a Slacker backer after the fact. I should have just known not to do that, but I think I feel even worse because at least you guys bought into the hype of the campaign in its full run, whereas I just heard an interview with them, and then I just got triggered and just, you know, okay, this is what we need to, this game looks awesome. And you know, the guy said he didn't have anything going, but he was one day, and he's a hustler. I try to think that I've sort of got one step above most hustlers, but you win, Falco. You stole my money amongst other people. I think he got quite a bit too. I'm gonna have to go to the Kickstarter page, but it was quite a few $1,000s they got for this game. Again, if you're coming new to the stream, Elysian Shadows, been confirmed, is no longer going to be released for the Dreamcast. It's done. Alright, cool. Catch you in the lobby. Alright, so let's get our reward. which I hope is going to be photon points. I'm going to have to actually team up with somebody who knows this quest a bit better, because there's that one door that we're unable to unlock. Well done, UGB. As predicted, sealing the rift turned out to turn our tide in the battle. Blah, blah, blah. Go to the guild counter, and... Cool. So we got 22 photon points. I think you max out at 250, so I should probably use a couple to upgrade a few weapons. They're putting it on the Ouya, which would be great. I actually have an Ouya. I found it at a thrift store for $2.99. Hey, look at it. It's everybody. Oh man. I gotta admit, that is really odd about the DC, especially using BBA. All right, well, did you want to do a quick Vega run to get to level 40? Maybe we can convince... yeah, he's 85. We might actually be able to do an alt run. Okay, no prob. Next time. Alright, I think I might actually have to log off soon because I've got a couple of things to do in the AM to see you later. Okay, guys, I actually gotta log off. It's about 11:30 p.m. here, and I've gotta be up in 5 hours. Fucking adulthood. Maybe tomorrow. Slash. Yeah, definitely we want to connect with a lot more people that... Yeah, let's give them my card as well. My card. Send. Send. Okay, let's save our game. Cool. Night. All. And let's disconnect. Quick game. See ya. Yeah, the one thing about the Ouya is that it's a great emulation box, but it was only a great emulation box until the Raspberry Pi figured itself out. And now it's just completely obsolete. Like, I have one still. Again, it cost me $2.99. Quite happy to just have it in a drawer and occasionally show people the Ouya. But yeah, it actually, when you connect it online, it will update to the latest firmware. So I don't know, there must be somebody supporting it somewhere. But and you can still download some games from whatever server that it connects to, so it must be live somewhere. It must not totally be dead. But yeah, that system was basically a great emulation box until the Raspberry Pi came along and people started putting emulators on that. And yeah, now it's just a conversation piece about completely failed, obsolete, esoteric consoles that just so much ambition, so little delivery. Much like Elysian Shadows. So, Falco, I hope you realize that this project, by canceling it, you've completely put everybody that supported you in this project in bad faith. Yeah, I think you're pretty much done with the community. I could possibly see Dreamcast supporters giving you money for your next project with this new VMU. And if the Elysian Shadows YouTube page is up, I suggest anybody watching the stream just check it out and look at their concept for the VMU. Again, it's all hypothetical. There's no prototype, much like Elysian Shadows. And if they try to hustle money out of us, forget it. Like, I mean, this is such a disappointment that game is not going to see the light of day. Moving on, though. Before I go, I just wanted to show you guys a couple more things that I picked up. Just a couple of fun things. Nothing really too exciting. I actually ended up selling all my Dungeons and Dragons stuff, but occasionally I still find it out in the wild. So, you know, here's just a regular, boring old guide manual, but I got it for $1. The series Stranger Things, which I'm sure a lot of people have watched at this point, has really brought Dungeons and Dragons back. And to be honest, I haven't played that game since high school, but I kept all the books and all the source material and stuff like that. But I haven't played it in 25 years. I've always kind of wanted to, which is why I've held on to it. But if you're a person like me, that's like me, and has all of this material, like books and books and books and books, I had probably like 25 books in total. And you want to get rid of it without donating and make a bit of cash, strike now while the iron is hot, because there are so many young kids out there that watch those people in Stranger Things, which is a very popular series, play Dungeons and Dragons, and want to get into it. So, you know, I made quite a bit of money, much more than I thought, on selling my Dungeons and Dragons manuals on a local buy and sell group. And it was, again, this woman contacted me, wanted it. Okay, great. When she met me, she was their 10-year-old son who watched Stranger Things and wanted to be a dungeon master. And they gave me a ton of money for my manuals, which, you know, it was sad to see them go. They're kind of cool, but I'll never play that game. I can't see myself ever playing that game again, really. As cool as it is. So before we go, I'm just going to show you guys something completely stupid, but I thought it was fun nonetheless. If you're a person of a certain era, you probably grew up on puzzles before there were iPads, and those puzzles were physical things, and they weren't just little blocks that you move around on a touch screen. And there used to be a very popular brand for kids my age when I was growing up, and it was little golden books and little golden puzzles. And I found this at a thrift store, and it made me laugh so hard because I couldn't believe that they actually released it. I found two, both different. But if you're a person like me who likes horror movies, you're probably familiar with the film company Troma, who released a number of different. Actually, you know what? I've actually got a book. Here we go. So I've got a book that might put this into better context. And the head of Troma is a guy named Lloyd Kaufman. And I got this book a number of years ago, autographed actually. And it's by Lloyd Kaufman. And it says, it's called Everything I Need to Know About Filmmaking I Learned from the Toxic Avenger. And it's a pretty good book. And it's actually autographed inside right there. So it says, I love Bill. My brother got this autograph for me. I think that Lloyd thought that my brother was my partner. So it says, to Bill, thanks for taking care of Chris all the years. Love, Lloyd Kaufman, Chris's life partner. So Chris is my brother, actually, which, you know, it's kind of funny. But so yeah, Toxic Avenger was their big claim to fame. And they actually had a television, a kids series back in the 90s called The Toxic Crusaders. And I managed to find these two little golden puzzles of the Toxic Crusaders, which, I don't know, I just think are hilarious. So as some of you know, I have a young daughter, and we will definitely be putting together these puzzles at some point. And she will learn at a very young age how awesome the Toxic Avenger is. All right. That's enough for now. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Again, I really appreciate this last month in particular has been really, really interesting. Just in terms of people contributing to my channel and, to me, basically. I'm just, the channel is just an extension of me, and I really, really appreciate it. This is the thing about careers and hobbies. There's a lot of people that go on YouTube and they make it their career. And the thing with career is that you're then responsible for, deadlines and all this kind of nonsense. And this is just a hobby for me. I kind of show up whenever I show up, and I'm so glad that people watch and pay attention and comment. I love it. But I just love the fact that this channel has been successful enough for me that it has become a hobby where it's kind of supported itself, just in terms of like ad revenue and donations and all forms. That I like the fact that now it's kind of gotten to the point where I don't necessarily have to go in the red so much and recoup for things that I want to show off in terms of donations, or sorry, not in donations, in terms of recent purchases and things of that nature. So anyways, that's all because of everybody out there in planet internet. And thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to go to bed because I got to get up pretty early, but everybody have a great weekend, and hopefully if we've got time, we'll see you tomorrow. If not, Monday for sure. So anyways, take care. Have a good one. Talk to you later.